Hey everyone, it is Sam Mackay here from Enterprise DNA. Just before we get going, if you want to get new, fresh Power BI content every weekday, make sure to subscribe. And if you really like the content in this video, throw it a like, really appreciate it. Today we are going to go through some DAX formula. So I had a scenario that I was working on and I realized, man, we need to actually just extract better insight. We need to actually really drill into our product sales and evaluate, well, when are we selling? When are we selling these products the best? Like what day is the best sale day through time for these products? And it's actually not that easy. It's not that easy. It took some time to work through the solution, work out the best solution, and in the end, it was a combination of a few ideas all coming together. But what we want to do, specifically what we're trying to do, is we're against the product. I want to see the best week or weekend day that this product sells. So things we could get from that, we could send discounts out to people. We can go and see the different days that it sells well in particular regions or areas that we have retail sites, etc. We could also break it down by time frame, like has the best selling day changed over time. So there's a number of different really cool ways that you could utilize this technique. And you could utilize this in many different ways, as I mentioned. So all we're doing, if we look at the table here, if we dive into the table here, you can see against every single product, we have a day that is the best selling day for this product. So for product 63, Friday through time in this data set is the best selling day for this product. So how do we do it? So let's go through how break down how this actually works. Well, first of all, what we've got to do before we try and work out the more advanced logic is we've actually got to work out, well, on average, how much of this product do we actually sell? So we've got to create a formula which enables us to calculate that. So this is very similar to another video on averaging that is on Enterprise DNA TV. But if we wanted to work that out, we need to go average sales per day. And we need to use the AVERAGEX function, like so. I'm just going to go through it quickly and write it in. So all we've got to go is iterate through every single day and calculate total sales. And if we calculate total sales every day, we can then go and average it up. And so if I then drag this into my table, you'll see, okay, on average per day, this is how many we sell of each product. And so now what we're trying to do post this is we want to actually see, well, okay, on what day is that average the best consistently? So consistently, if you work through time, on average, which day do we sell the most? So this is the formula that we need to use to actually create that. So I'm just going to write it out because it's got a bit to it, but as you write it out, you'll be able to see, well, this is how you can combine all these different functions, all these different techniques, and be able to retrieve the answer. So I'm just going to create a new measure. I'm going to call this best selling day. And we're actually going to use TOPN. TOPN is a really cool function within Power BI. Essentially what it enables you to do is create a table based on ranking. So we're going to try and isolate, okay, based on ranking, what is the highest day for average sales? And then we're going to try and return that day. So I'm just going to go and use MAXX here. It's interesting that we can actually return with MAXX a text value. It's quite an interesting thing to think about. And then I'm just going to jump down to a new line here, and then I'm going to go TOPN. And because we actually want the top day, well, this n value is actually going to equal to 1. And then I'm going to just use summarize here, and I'm going to quickly write out this logic down here, because summarize is going to reference a table, then a column, and the day of week is the one that we want to actually iterate on. And then I'm going to go selling days. You've got to name a column. This is a virtual table that we're creating, remember. And then I'm going to put my average sales per day. And then we are going to rank. So we're going to, in this table, we are going to extract the top one by referencing the selling days, which is actually the name of this column if you think about it in the virtual table. So that in itself is a cool technique. And then lastly, we're then going to go day of week. So with this formula, this is a seriously cool formula. As soon as I figured out how to do this, I immediately thought, wow, we could actually isolate anything here. We could actually isolate not only the top one, but the top two. You can maneuver this around in a myriad of different ways. And so I'm just going to push enter and drag that into my table. And now we can see, well, okay, so this is evaluating the average sales per day for every single week, and then TOPN is ranking them and saying, well, only return the top one. So only return the top day of the week for this selling days calculation. And then that's why we actually then get the top day. And that's what's also amazing, is that we could then click into a specific region. So let's click into Florida in this instance, and everything's going to update. So Tuesday for product 63 is actually the best selling day, whilst throughout all our different regions that we sell, it's actually Friday, and so on and so forth. So there's a lot of additional logic you could potentially add to here, but the idea for this was to just showcase, like, this is the logic that will get you here in the first place, and then you can branch out in many different ways. I mean, I would, the way I think of this is, well, you could actually automate your marketing based on this. I mean, if you can see that in a particular store consistently, you have a best selling day of something, well, every day you can send out a notification, you can send out an email marketing chain that actually promoted that that good was on sale, so on and so forth. You could then run scenarios and see how much additional foot traffic in your store would actually increase the demand and sales for your other products. So there's so many cool things that you could actually branch out into, especially around the scenario analysis space. So really cool technique. And then when you actually combine it, I do really like these new data bars that you can incorporate as well. When you combine it with these additional table insights or these table visualizations, you can really start to get a good picture of or some really good insight that's going to generate a lot of value for you. So hopefully you like that technique. As a reminder, don't forget to subscribe if you want to see awesome Power BI content every weekday. And if you really like this and you really like this technique, enjoyed this video, please throw us a like on the video. Really appreciate it. Look forward to catching up with you in the next video. Good luck with this.